So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, broadcast and recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Never let a good brand die. That seems to be the marching order given to Brent Poer, general manager of the WB.com, the web video site officially launching on Wednesday, August 27th. The WB, as you will recall, began in January 1995 and was the short-lived network home of many pop culture TV icons, including Seventh Heaven, Steve Harvey, Jamie Foxx, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dawson's Creek, Felicity, Charmed, Gilmore Girls, and Smallville. It ended its short but lively tenure in a merger with the UPN network a few years ago, forming the CW. Now, personally, I can't think of a single CW show I've watched more than once, with the possible exception of Smallville. But UPN and the WB, I always thought, owned distinctive identities, and they certainly give a great deal to pop culture. And now my guest, Brent Poer, is posed to bring the WB back from the dead. Let's see. There we go. Brent, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right, how about yourself?
I'm good. You know, anxiously awaiting our, return on Wednesday at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
That would be 8 o'clock for those of you who live on the right coast.
No, it'd actually be 1 o'clock. It'll be 1 o'clock East Coast, 11 o'clock on the West Coast.
Very good. Well, of course, the most important question of all is, where does Michigan J. Frog figure into all this?
You know, we have so many people that have either written or asked or even personally emailed me about Michigan, and all I can say is that he's not going to be with us for the first day, but you will see him sometime soon.
Okay, but he's not completely written off.
He's not completely written off. You know what? I mean, he's such an integral part of the history of the network. There's so many people that have such a deep love for the Frog. And, you know, I think when we look at the WB and certainly our fans, we want to make sure that we're able to reach them and answer some of their questions and bring back part of their favorites. And Michigan's part of that story.
Yeah, the Frog, it's a funny thing. You know, when the Frog first started as kind of the mascot of the network, it was like, oh, how dopey. But then, you know, over time, it just seemed like it really set that network apart. And I can understand not wanting it to be, you know, right there with you at the start, but it is part of the heritage of what people think of as the WB, I guess.
Completely, and you know, I mean, not that we're going to, you know, completely, you know, mirror the past. This is about taking a brand forward and setting it in a digital age. But though, you know, the Frog and Michigan are part of a vital part of our story, and so I think that you'll see him come back in ways that are new and different, and that kind of can be intriguing, and people will, you know, get into it. And it's also something that we look at that can be very viral. That, you know, there could be a pass-along value with Michigan. So that's what we're trying to do with him.
Well, he's a frog, so I imagine we have to get into frog licking to make it viral.
Well, frog licking or, you know, just generally, you know, the whole he's in the tadpole stage right now.
Oh, okay. So the site launched in beta back in April, and it goes public, as you say, about 2 days from now. What did you learn during the beta process, and what evolved over time, if anything?
Well, I mean, we learned really, you know, to really focus in on the important aspects, and that's really about having a great video player, and that it loads easily, and that you have a great viewing experience. As well, it gave us some time to kind of step back and really understand our audience and say, okay, how are young adults consuming video on the internet? How can we create an enhanced experience that kind of mirrors their lifestyle and how they take in content?
And how is that? How do they do that?
Well, I mean, it's a very active experience versus, I'll be honest with you, I'm 40 years old, and I kind of tend to look at video in a very passive experience. You go to a site, you click on something, the player loads, you watch it, and then you move on. With young adults, they're not just watching video; they're actively doing other things while they're watching. And they call video TV. No matter what it is, they say it's TV. Mm-hmm. If it's a 15-second clip, it's TV. If it's a 44-minute show, it's TV. So while they're watching TV on the Internet, they're doing other things. So what we've done is kind of enhance the experience. There's a video player, but above the fold, there's an area called bonus boxes where they're passive games and quizzes that they can play. You're able to rip off the video player and then close the rest of the site, and then you could go back and do your work. So that you can do two things at once. It's really about giving the audience the ability to multitask.
Very interesting. And how, if at all, is or will be? Most people are going to hear this after you've launched. So how different is the WB.com from Hulu, which of course is the joint site of NBC and Fox, putting their video online?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think that Hulu does a great job, and I think that they have a beautiful video player. I think that it is a great passive viewing experience. It's for people that want to go and they solely just want to have that sit back and watch a video, either a clip or a piece of long-form video. Ours is really more of a branded site where you can go to it and you immediately know that it's targeted towards young adults, 18 to 34, that our brand really represents a type of programming that will be there. Mm-hmm. It's really about iconic dramas. And comedies and, kind of short form that's fun, but very targeted towards, a younger demo. And at the same time, it's got this active experience so that you can engage in games. You can do, the bonus boxes. We're launching something called a viewing party technology where you could send a link to all of your friends, and then you and your friends can watch the same piece of video and do a chat alongside of it. So again, it's really creating an experience that's true to our market.
We have a question from the live web chat that accompanies Mr. Media Interviews. This is from Take Two Podcast.
Okay.
And let me see. It's sort of two questions, I think. First, Take Two was wondering, saying, I really enjoy the WB, but how did that translate into the CW? Can you explain that? I have a feeling we're talking about two different things here, but I'm passing along the question. And then here's the rest of the question. Is it a branch? Do the shows transfer to the CW, or how does that happen? And how can you show these shows the CW has?
Well, the CW is entirely a separate business from the WB, and they're really a broadcast network. We are a digital destination. Our businesses are totally different. Warner Brothers is, someone who's invested in the CW, and we believe in it as a business, and, certainly it's a focus of what the studio is doing. It gets a little strange, and I can understand people's kind of confusion when they see that we're going to have something like Smallville on the WB, but it's also currently airing on the CW. The CW will be able to stream and show, episodes from the season that's currently on the air. We will have past seasons.
Okay.
And we're not a feeder for the network for the CW. Really what we look at is, Warner Brothers is a studio. We've got a heritage in creating content and storytelling, and this is about really leveraging our strengths as a studio, which is, we've done a lot of these young adult shows, and creating a new way to tell those stories. And certainly we want to learn about, how people are using digital media. This is one of those ways that we're going out there to to learn more and to create different ways to tell stories.
Well, Take Two says thank you for answering that question, and I'll use this opportunity to say that if you're in the web chat or if you'd like to give a call and you've got a question or comment for Brent Poer, the general manager of the new VWB.com website, give us a call, 646-595-3135. Are you convinced? I mean, you're 40. I'm a little older than that. I can't say not too much older, but a little older than that. And I'm online, and I'm a big proponent of all kinds of things online. I'm still not convinced that people are watching or want to watch full-length television programs on their computers. Am I that old, or is it just the message just not hitting me?
Well, you know what? I don't think that it's really not to be ageist and say that you're that old. I think that there are different ways that people want to experience television. I think something that was, it was a big aha moment for me. We were doing a bunch of focus groups with some demos, with young females and males, and a third of these focus groups, and this was a third total, said that they didn't have cable television.
Oh.
It was,
really?
Really, and it was a huge aha moment for me. And we kept the moderator asking, saying, how are you watching TV? Are you watching TV? And certainly I was like, oh, are they just not watching? It's not that they're not watching; they're watching on their computers. They feel like they've got a finite amount of money. That they, it's more important to have a great, DSL line, or feed into their home for their computer, because it's you look at a lot of people in college, they don't have a ton of money, so the first thing that goes is cable, because the fact of the matter is their favorite shows should be on the network sites, or they can go to, frankly, YouTube, and it's probably pirated there already.
Brent, are you still there? Oh, wait.
A great explanation. Did you get it all?
Yeah. Brent, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry. The network just completely disconnected me. I don't know why. I apologize to you and the listeners. I don't know if you even realized I was gone. But
no, I realized you were gone. We had to call back in.
Oh, you did too?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I apologize if it disconnected both of us, and I don't know what the problem was. So, folks, especially in the web chat and listening live, thanks for sticking around. We'll we'll try to pick up from where we were. I know we were talking before we were disconnected about people watching these shows on their computers versus on television, and that a lot of people didn't have cable. I know my wife is a really addictive TV watcher in our house, followed by my daughter and then me, probably because I'm spending so much time on the computer doing other things. But I know my wife, at first, when iTunes offered video, was downloading TV shows and movies, but then she just kind of drifted away from it back to cable TV, and that's why I kind of wondered. But I guess I can sort of see your point that, if you're a college student, probably just as convenient, or, you may even have a better picture even, I guess, watching on your computer.
Well, it's also about time shifting. They don't want to be held up to a schedule. It's like, day, date, and time for a show. They can view it whenever they want to. And I think that's another thing that's so important, which is, it's an on-demand viewing of content versus someone telling them, it's Tuesday at 8. Well, you may not want to watch it Tuesday at 8. You may have something going on in your life, but you definitely want to see it Wednesday at 8 a.m. when you first get up, and so you want to go online and be able to see if you've missed something. Entertainment, no matter what, is always treated as social currency.
Mm-hmm. So are you looking at this as, most of these shows that you're offering, people can buy the DVD and get the whole collection. I'm thinking this is just another distribution channel. This is another way to get these shows out to people, another option, really.
Well, yes, we have what we refer to as the collection, which are the shows that people know and love. But it's also a platform where we're working with, great producers like McGee or Josh Schwartz or even Gary Auerbach to create originals that bring, certainly some new life and a fresh perspective to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that Take Two in the web chat has another question for you. Will you be able to? Will he, she, anyone be able to watch various seasons and such like Angel and Buffy and Roswell? Can you catch any episode from any season at a time, or?
Every show has a different kind of allotment of a number of episodes, but what we're doing is we're refreshing on a weekly basis. So if there are only 7 to 10 episodes up of one show from one season, you'd come back the next week and there'd be an additional 10. So it's something that we're going to roll out. So I think our main goal is to make sure that the site feels like we've got a robust quantity of content that's up there for people to enjoy.
And I see Take Two did what I did earlier today and signed up for a beta account. I guess the assumption is that the viewing is free, but I don't know if that's the case.
Oh, no, we've got the beta right now. It's been a closed beta, and actually it's going to be pulled down starting this afternoon because we're prepping to move the site to the live site. And it's free. It's ad supported. We will have 30-second spots that run during some of the video streaming, but it's completely free to the public.
How many spots will air in a 30-minute show and in a what has traditionally been a 30-minute or 60-minute show, but obviously might not be. Will it still be that length? Will it have that many commercials?
No. It's far less. It's pretty much on standard with everybody else that's out there.
Which means what?
It's about 4 30-second breaks.
Well, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. I mean, it doesn't even give you the time to go to the restroom.
How many people, Miss Media is wondering from the web chat, how many people signed up for the beta?
We capped it at 25,000 just because we felt like that was going to be enough of a sample to get some key learnings on. And it really wasn't about going wide. It was about understanding how people engaged in the site and then to create a better experience for what we're launching with on the 27th.
Okay. Well, since we're back online and the connection seems to be holding, let me give out our number again. If you've got a question or comment for Brent Poer, the general manager of the relaunching DWB.com, give us a call, 646-595-3135. You slipped in a mention a second ago of some of the creators that you have creating original content. Maybe we should talk about these. I think there are 4, let me see, it's put here, 4 original and acquired series.
It's for the launch day. It's 4, but we will keep on expanding. We've got, let's see, it's somewhere around 12 that will roll out before the end of the year.
Any of those shows featuring someone in Florida who interviews celebrities and newsmakers in the media field?
You know what? Who knows? I think we could arrange that.
I think that would be a great idea. It could be someone who comes in. Just think about this for a minute. Someone who comes in and interviews the stars and producers and creators of each of the shows, current and past, that are running on the WB.com. I don't know where that idea came to me from, but it's just,
It sounds like a solid idea to me.
There you go. I think so too, and I think you'll agree with me on that. Probably at least until this interview is over. One of the creative talents you have working on this is McGee, who people I think best know for the Charlie's Angels series. What is he doing?
McGee is working with his company, which is Wonderland, and a group called Big Fantastic, who did the internet series Prom Queen. And they have done a series for us called Sorority Forever. It's 40 episodes. It's a daily, Monday through Friday. They're about 2 minutes each. They star a really, really super attractive cast. It's obviously about a sorority, but, as we say, the most beautiful people on campus have an ugly secret.
Oh, God. I guess we get a taste of that in 2-minute doses.
Yes, you will. It's a really fun series. It's got a mystery to it, so it's, not straight soap opera. It's starring Jessica Rose, who was Lonely Girl 15. And yeah, and so it's a really fun series. We're excited about it. It starts on September 8th, and it's a fun way to start, the WB and really kind of start taking a look at, our kind of new voice and tone as we bring the brand back.
And where does this one fit in? The show is called A Boy Wearing Makeup.
Well, you know what? We found Matthew Francis on YouTube. And, it's one of the things that, to be completely honest with you, you stop and you're like, oh, my God. There's this guy who's doing makeup tutorials, but he's putting it on himself. And it's completely true. And he is a big personality to begin with. He does fierce makeup. And I think in this space, especially with our market, you want to have something that stops people cold and that's also incredibly viral, that you watch it, you get a little information, and at the same time you're like, oh, my God, I've got to pass this on to 9 friends. Because they've got to see this.
It definitely sounds like an internet project.
Well, I mean, he shoots it in his bedroom. He's putting on makeup. You see his comforter and everything in the background. And I will say this: he is incredibly talented young makeup artist, and he certainly has a perspective. And I think it's really fun. He can be very funny, and it's one of those things that you want to send on to like 20 people because you just can't believe it.
All right, and what about, I read that one, and then I read this one, and whatever Hollywood, and let me read the first line here. Surrey, Apple, and Shiloh, I never heard those names, are 3 best friends who are taking Hollywood by storm and playing by their own rules. What's going on here, Brent?
Well, first of all, it is 3 actresses. Actually, they use the names as kind of a joke that they hide behind. They do a reality series, which is behind the scenes of their life. They are, one's an aspiring musician, one is an actress, one's a producer and, wants to be kind of a host. They, do kind of the antics of their life as, women trying to make it in Hollywood. So you get kind of a bit of the behind the scenes. It could be, they were called in for a meeting at a studio and you get the before and after of them excited going in and then them all talking about the fact that they had no idea what they were doing in the meeting and they asked a lot of stupid questions. They're very funny, as well as the fact that they do a lot of music videos that are all written with their perspective. One's called Spray Tan, and they're just really, really funny. And the music's great, and it's one of the things that we have kind of in an area called snaggables. Snaggables is a term that we're putting out there for, short form content that you grab and go. You come to the site, you look for something funny or fun just to get your mind off. You're in the middle of the day. I even find myself going to different sites and saying, okay, what have they got out there? You look at a little something, you laugh, and then you go back to your work. And that's kind of the focus of what our idea behind Snaggables is.
I should probably mention, I guess we kind of skipped over this, and I'll take the blame for that. some of the other shows that will be part of the WB.com. I've got a list here. Folks are probably wondering about this. So here are some of the shows that you'll be able to see full episodes of on the WB.com when you want to see them. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Everwood, Friends, Gilmore Girls, The O.C., One Tree Hill, Roswell, Smallville, Veronica Mars, and plus Angel, Babylon 5, Firefly, In Living Color. That would be very cool. I'd like to see those. The Loop and Mad TV. Some pretty good series there to be able to call on.
It's, you know what, I think we're all really excited about Friends. It's the first time that it's ever been offered online for streaming. It's kind of a big day. It's something that we at Warner Brothers, it's one of our crown jewels, and to be able to share it again. And, I'll be completely honest with you. I never saw Veronica Mars when it was on broadcast. It is a show that I have discovered through our own beta, and I've watched the entire first season of Veronica Mars. It is an amazing show. I was completely blown away. I totally repentant that I didn't watch it and keep the show going, but it is a great series. Also, Buffy. I'm a huge fan of Buffy, Angel. I mean, Gilmore Girls. You can't. These are great shows.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know I've only seen Buffy since it's been off the air a couple times. I never got hooked on it while it was on the air. I'm looking at the list again. Gilmore Girls, of course, got a connection to the new Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movie. Because I don't know all the kids' names in that.
Alexis Bledel.
Thank you very much. And then Roswell. Well, it's been an interesting day, technically speaking. I don't know. I got disconnected, and I'm hoping that Brent Poer from the general manager of the WB.com will call back in a moment. We'll pick up with him. I was just about to say, there's Brent. Hang on, folks. Stay with me a minute.
Hello?
Hi, Brent. Welcome back. I believe me, heads will roll at the network. Man, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, my switchboard just flashed and disappeared in front of my eyes, and then it came back. I don't know what. They must be having some problems. So again, I appreciate. We've had a pretty loyal group on the web chat and listening who've stayed with us through two disconnects. So thank you and thank them for sticking around. I was just going to say that Roswell, one of the actresses that got her start on that, is
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, from Grey's Anatomy.
From Grey's Anatomy.
Knocked Up.
Knocked Up. Also, there is, and I'm drawing a blank right now at her name, who's on Lost right now, who was one of the aliens also.
Oh.
So the WB was always an amazing starting ground for a lot of people that have gone on to do a lot of great work. Katherine Heigl is a perfect example. Kerry Russell and Felicity. Sarah Michelle Gellar got her start, not really in television. She had done, All My Children, but then she, came to Buffy and then started a movie career. We kind of hope that we're going to be able to discover new stars for, these series, and then they'll be able to parlay that on to future success, with us or, hopefully in different parts of their career.
Well, that was kind of what I was getting at in the introduction, is that the WB, although it's not with us as a broadcast network any longer, certainly somebody there had some excellent taste, I think, in programming. Whether it appealed to me personally, you have to admire the programs that got on the air and the talent that was launched from there. And it's just hard to fathom why it's not still around, but stuff happens, and people can now watch these shows again for free on the WB.com.
Well, and it's also, and I think that one of the things that's, so rewarding is I was always a huge fan of the WB. It's a brand that I grew up with. And when the call came to me to come to the network and bring the brand back, I feel incredibly fortunate to be able to be somebody that is, guiding the relaunch. I think for all of our fans, out there, they should know that, the WB is being helmed by a whole group of people that are fans of the original brand and that will, lead and be a guardian to the brand as we move forward with the second iteration.
We're going to wrap up shortly, and I do have one more question here from the web chat. You mentioned earlier that the beta had been capped at 25,000, and with the live version rolling out on the 27th, will the registration of all those people still carry over, or will people have to re-register to join in live?
Oh, you won't have to register at all. You'll just be able to type in thewb.com, and you're there.
Oh, very good. And you said that's actually going to go live this afternoon?
No, it'll go live. We're actually pulling down the beta site, so when people go to thewb.com, there'll be just a page that says, tune in on the 27th at 11 o'clock Pacific time, and we will be live. It's at a point right now where we're moving, different servers, where we're, getting all the data to different places, and just really looking and making sure that we've got all the bugs out of the system and we can fine tune it so that you have a great experience on the first day.
Oh, excellent. Well, boy, good timing. We've got a call. Hi, do you have a question for Brent Poer from the WB.com?
Yeah, hi. Just to make sure, he's the general manager of the website WB?
That is correct.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been really listening to the whole show, so maybe it's, I don't know all the details and everything. But, for example, when your call got disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the best part of the show.
Good. Well, thanks for calling.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Well, it's live. Never a dull moment. I'm laughing in part because of the call, but also I had one call like that months ago where you'll appreciate this, I think. Someone calls in. I was interviewing a Washington Post reporter who had written a book called The Commission. It was about the 9/11 Commission. Pretty serious conversation. And, we were talking about, things that were hidden and held back and that kind of thing. Excuse me. And some guy called up and he says, hi, hey, I'm from Canada and I haven't been listening to the show. So I don't know what you've been saying, and this is about 40 minutes in. Could you kind of repeat everything that you've covered so far? Oh, sure we could.
Well, there's always a critic out there,
Yeah, that's all right. Well, listen, folks, with the exception of that last caller, check out the relaunch of the WB.com beginning August 27th. At, very simply, www.thewb.com. Very simple, right?
Very simple.
And Brent, through the two disconnects and that rather interesting last caller, you've been very patient. And I appreciate your time today. I hope you guys have a real successful launch.
Well, thank you very much. I've enjoyed my time with you guys, and I hope that everyone will join us when we launch on the 27th, as well as, keep coming back every day, folks. We need you.
There you go. All right. Brent, thank you so much for your time today on Mr. Media.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So for dozens more celebrity and media newsmaker interviews, feel free to surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my conversations with the stars, writers, and producers of The Cleaner, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, SpongeBob SquarePants, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Heroes, Army Wives, 24, The Big Bang Theory, Bad Santa, Tell Me You Love Me, The Dark Knight, and many, many others. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, Digital Journal, Blueberry, Zencast, Odeo, Kindle, or iTunes. And folks, I appreciate when you take some time out of your day to spend it with us here at Mr. Media. Whether you enjoy the programming or you don't, I appreciate your time, and hope you'll check back in with us real soon.